increasing foot traffic from pump to the store. We're happy to welcome Ernie back up and talk about this. His last presentation was really interesting and energetic, and I'm looking forward to hearing this too, because all of our goals is to get that fuel traffic into the stores. So I think we need to do that better is bonus. Ernie.
Give me an idea of how many stores your organization has. Who has over 5 stores? Over 5 stores, 5 locations. Okay. Who has over 10? Okay, so it's between like 5 plus and down, right? In the works. Okay. So as a smaller organization, you typically don't have the capital to do big programs. And so, for example, who has raise your hand if you have a loyalty program. Does anybody have a loyalty program? You have one? You guys have a loyalty program? Okay. So there's a few different ways. I'm going to talk about 3 things. Now, I also want to spend just a little bit more time, because I've had a lot of little side conversations about, like, Ernie, we just tapped into that generative AI stuff. Can we get a little bit more of that? So we'll do a little bit more of that too. So one of the first things that I would recommend, now the stores I worked in were bigger. Maverick, when I first started there, was 125 stores. They have now over 800. So it's like a big company. When I first started there, they had 2 people in their marketing department when they had that many stores. And so they were still trying really, really hard to keep things. They still had a very small business mind, not a small-minded business, but a small business mind. They were trying to be as frugal as they possibly could, get as much as they could get done with the resources they had. So our very first loyalty program was a freaking real paper punch card. That was our loyalty program with 125 stores. And this is in 2000, about 2001, 2002. Well, we realized that there's no way for us to be able to market to those people again. It was a 10% off. Basically, you buy 10, you get 1 free. Well, one of the most challenging things is to reach you, our customer, when they're not here. So driving people from the forecourt to the store, we need to give them a message of promotion that they care about. So loyalty programs, and I'm going to spend just a few minutes talking about loyalty program. Now I'm talking about food, a food item that they can get only at your store, and then another. So first thing is the loyalty program. If you don't have a loyalty program, you don't need to make a big one. It can be very, very simple. All you need really is their email address and phone number. That's it. Your loyalty platform, whatever, right now you can buy dozens of loyalty platforms so that when they're driving by, you have your promotions in the morning, you have your promotions whenever, you can let them know, hey, right now, if they're thinking about buying fuel, if they get a text message from you or an email from you, when they buy fuel, they may go, oh, you know what? This is the promotion of something that I like. Now I'm going to have a greater percentage chance of going to your store. You can't do that without their information. So, and just FYI, when Maverick looked at the loyalty program that we did, we saw that we were getting about 17% more revenue from loyal customers. By the way, loyal customers don't mean they come in every time they go to a convenience store. They were just members of our loyalty club. And we compared those loyalty members with non-loyalty members, the average transaction. We're getting 17% more business from them than non-loyalty for a variety of different reasons. One is they earn value in their digital wallet. If I've got 7 punches on my digital punch card for energy drinks, which I tend to consume, why would I buy an energy drink somewhere else where I don't get that added to my 10th one? I'm already invested in the program, even though another convenience store might be more convenient for me. Or I might have value loaded up in my wallet. I have $2.45 in points. Okay, I can't redeem that from a non-loyalty competitor. So having a loyalty program that's very simple, that's off the shelf, that doesn't require very much, you get a 17+% more business from those customers. So just think, is it worth it? Is it worth it for you? One of the things I was challenged with early on at Maverick when we were developing the loyalty program was, what's the cost? Is this an expense? And we didn't know what the expense or investment was going to be until afterwards. We had to look at the numbers. You can project, oh, we hope it's going to do this. We hope it's going to give us 10% or 25%. But not until we actually executed did we realize what kind of revenue we were actually getting. So when I say, hey, it's going to cost you 17%, or it's going to give you 17% lift on your average basket, or your average customer, you get 70% more business. Do you know how much your customers are currently worth? Do you know where you stand the rest of the tribes? There was a panel up here talking about that very thing. If you're not a part of that, you don't know. Where do you stand? Where do you fit within your peers? How can you learn and grow to make sure that your customers are spending the same amount with you as the kind of industry? And not industry, but your tribal peers. So it's crazy not to participate in that program. Without data, without that information, you wouldn't be able to make a decision on, okay, you have 2 stores. Do we invest in a loyalty platform? The loyalty platform for a small organization is typically going to be per location. Here's how much it's going to cost you per location per month. Lots of platforms do that. Eventually, it might be per user. But how do you know how much you're willing to spend if we have no idea how much your customers are worth? So there's value in getting that kind of data. Even if you're maybe 1 or 2 stores, but you have other members of your tribal group that can give you a sense of hey, you know what? Our average basket size is $8.75. You might be able to judge that your customers are probably going to be the same. You're probably very similar. And if that's the case, what does 17% increase of loyalty programs, by the way, have between 10% and 45% usage? What I mean by that is the customers who are in your loyalty pool, 10% to 45% will utilize that loyalty identity on each transaction. So if you know that percentage, or even estimate it, you kind of know what your budget is worth to invest in a loyalty program. So I highly recommend some type of loyalty program so that you can communicate. By the way, a loyalty program without a marketing plan is a total waste. What are you going to do with all those emails and text messages? What do you send them? If you were to send them a promotion every week, great. But if the only thing you send them is a promotion, terrible. Send them fun things. Send them things that are part of your lifestyle, like your illustrations. That really cool illustration we did for you. Wouldn't that be fun? Just hey, we did this illustration. Let me share that. Who was I talking to out here about that does Jesus on an air conditioner? She not in here? Oh, you're back. Okay. AC Jesus. These they're almost photographic. They're hilarious. They're really cool. But if that was your fun thing, you share those types of things that's lifestyle so that people want to follow you. We don't follow people based on how many promotions am I going to get? You want valuable promotions, but you also want lifestyle content. Integrate me with your business, with your personality. We hang out with people that we like. We don't hang out with people who are selling to us every time we meet them. Do you have that friend in a multi-level marketing thing that's always trying to sell you something? You avoid that person. So we have to do the same thing with our marketing and promotion. So loyalty platform. Second thing is utilize your pump toppers to drive fuel-related offers. If you're trying to get people from the pump into the store, Instead of saying, hey, here's our sandwich, or here's a promotional item, a Gatorade or whatever, what can you do that's tied into their purchase of fuel so they get a greater discount? So now that I'm coming in for fuel, NACS data shows that about a third of all, it's really interesting, a third of all convenience store shoppers get fuel only. A third buy in-store only. Another third buy both. They get fuel and they become in-store. And that's been that way for about 2 decades that I'm aware of. That's kind of a very typical thing. So what we're trying to do is try to get that. There's a small percentage of people who are at the pump, not all of them. There are some people who are like, I just won't go in. I just don't. So for you trying to get those people to come in, it's not going to happen. But you're trying to just get an incremental, just a few percentage points of those people who are at the pump that are considering it. They're looking for value. Like, I'm already spending, what, $50 in gas? What is that going to give me that's going to kind of tip me over the edge to come in and get something in store? So it's water. It could be a sandwich. It could be a drink or a coffee, something that most people would want to take advantage of that's pretty significant. Think about coffee as a cost, like the cost of goods for coffee, very, very low. A lot of profit margin if you're turning the coffee. People buy things with coffee. So if you give a promotion for a thing that is a complementary product, I know that water we sell at Maverick, we would sell water with coffee all the time. When, like, that was one of the biggest companion purchases. Part of the basket, most of the time, had a water with the coffee as well. Well, water, if you're selling it not on promotion, don't promote the water and the coffee. Do the coffee. They're going to come in, they're going to want the water anyway. So don't give away the price or the profit. When you're thinking about margins of 40%, giving a 10% discount, you just lost 25% of your margin. So even though it's only 10%, no, it's 25% of your margin. It's 25% of your profit. So that's sales math. Sometimes we get thinking, oh, it's the gross value. We just put 10% off. It only costs us 10%. No, you didn't make 100% of that. You had cost of goods in there and labor costs and all that in there. So that discount, those little discounts, that's a big chunk of your profit. So being able to market through a loyalty program and then like pump toppers, posters, things like that, to get them to come in that is fuel related. I got fuel offer. One of the things that at Maverick we did is we want to test the exterior appearance of all the promotional material. We typically would have a beer promo at every location. And that beer promo included pole signs. We had a pole, and then we had a sandwich sign on that pole that would have a beer on both sides. That makes sense? We also had posters in the window. And then we had banners hanging from the eaves of the exterior store. And then banners on the lawn or out front by the street. There's all these promotional points to drive people to be, hey, we have beer at this price. Well, one of the things we found is like it looked cluttery. It looked like there was too much stuff going on, like we were a cheap store. It wasn't costing us anything for those banners and promotional materials because who's paying for it? The manufacturer. The beer guys are paying for that. So our category manager who's working with beer, they're going, why would we not do this if they're giving it to us? Well, the customer experience was different. They were getting bombarded with messaging, almost creating obstacles of, instead of it being a lure to come into the store, they were actually becoming these visual barriers that kept people from coming in. So we did a test where we took 30 stores that had all these promotional materials, and we analyzed 30 stores that were like performing, very similar performing, seasonal, everything. And we took out all of that stuff. And the only thing we had left was the beer promo on the window sticker on the cooler door. Took it off the lawn, took it off the posters, everything. No difference in sales. No difference. What we discovered is that when we talked to people, they liked a airier, more comfortable experience in the store. They already know we have beer. For years, we've had beer. It's not like, oh my gosh, there's no sign out front. They must be out of beer. They also knew that the price points were pretty standard. So it's not like, oh gosh, I wasn't going to buy beer at $12.59, but I will buy beer at $12.39. That's not it. It's not like, oh man, today I just couldn't afford beer. Nope. But that's what we kind of think. Like, we have to promote it. But they won't buy if it's not on sale or a discount. Like, just make sure they know it's available. It's clearly marked. So when they walk in, they know exactly where the beer is. So in addition to that, removing some of the promotional materials, we want the more promotional materials we had of each promotional item, it became like a circus. I have no idea where to look. I have no idea where the promotionals are because everything's on promotion. So how do we drive people to know what's really on sale? The fewer, the better. So it's easy as you look around the store, that's on promotion, that's on promotion, that's on promotion. I'm interested in promotional items, so I'm gonna go walk over here versus I have no idea. It's just, I've got sensory overload. So highlight a few things really well. Clean up a lot of promotional items. And then one of the things we experienced is we had this vision of clean and clear. We had this vision of clean and clear. We found that some of our gondolas had like products on top of the gondola, and then there's jerky and stuff on top. So it's like, I have no idea what's on the other side. We were developing a food program we called it the Bonfire Grill. There's no grill, but Bonfire was adventure-y, and it sounded a lot better than the bistro, right? So it's like Bonfire Grill, that sounds cool. That sounds adventure-y, outdoorsy. So we had this idea of we're having sandwiches and not burgers, burritos and stuff like that in the back. And we expect people, and we have this fantastic coffee program. People walk into the doors and they're hit with a wall of jerky and candy and oil. There's like the thing that we're trying to feature is hidden in the back. And they're inside this maze corn maze going, I have no idea where to go. So we made a rule, everything below 5 feet, so that they could see everything in the store and see what's on promotion. It felt different. And people buy when they're comfortable. They'll stick around when they're comfortable. So at the pump, what is it that's on promotion that is fuel related? So if I'm buying fuel, I'm earning a greater discount. If you're in a loyalty program, it's already integrated. When you buy fuel here, you also get a discount and you get points to spend inside the store. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about for the driving sales is or from the forecourt inside, is a special food item. What do you have that you can't buy, that customers can't buy anywhere else? What is it? In Utah, there's a restaurant called J-Dogs. They sell hot dogs. Convenience stores sell hot dogs. They sell hot dogs, they're gourmet. They cut them in a radius or a radially, like a candy cane, both ways, so it exposes a little more of the hot dog to the flames or the heat, and it caramelizes. You know when you get that, if you ever cut a hot dog down lengthwise and you grill it, the magical flavor, that crispy goodness that makes your mouth water, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So they basically score the hot dogs and they cook it so that it has that little more of that caramelized, crispy texture that makes it delicious. And they have a special J-Dog sauce. They sell chips and one size drink for $8. How would you like to sell a bag of chips, a hot dog, and a medium drink for $8? Could you make a little money there? Absolutely. Here's the thing. And then that program, I thought, J-Dogs, you're selling hot dogs, really? Okay, they're a little bigger, but you can buy bigger hot dogs, quarter pounders, third pounders, no problem. But what made them special is the way they cut them, because you can't get that anywhere. They cut them differently, they cooked them a little differently, and they had sauce. How hard is that? How hard is it to get your own custom sauce that's so delicious, it's like a really good ranch where you say, I'll put this on anything. Or let's say cane sauce. You know what? I would put that on anything. Like, but it's craveable. It's a sauce. It's a condiment that has a little bit of shelf life. So you might be able to go, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to get, it may be too difficult for us to have a special product brought in that we can sell, but we can make a sauce that's unbelievably delicious that they can only get here. It's craveable. So that's kind of what J-Dogs did, but they were able to sell, you know, a meal for $8. I'd love a piece of that profit. It'd be awesome. Other companies will sell like cookies. $3.50 cookies. They're like a special recipe cookie. Or I can't imagine that there's not a product that you guys could develop for a small organization to go, look, this is our thing. And it's a favorite in our culture or whatever. It's like, oh man, that's where you go to get boiled peanuts. Like in Atlanta, it's like, I never eat boiled peanuts, right? But they're craveable. It's like, okay, go where there's boiled peanuts. But it's pretty easy for you to develop a product that is only available for you, which is what will bring people from the forecourt in store. Because I can't get this thing, a cookie, the special sauce or whatever, anywhere else. I've got to come in for this location. Because if you sell what everybody else sells, it's not going to drive any extra business. Another thing to do is brand your item. Hot dogs. J-Dogs have they have merchandise because they've got a cool logo. I think instead of calling it, you know, Trading Post hot dogs, what could you create behind that brand that is so fun and so interesting? People will buy the T-shirt to let people know I got my special dog at the Trading Post. And it's not the Trading Post hot dog. It's like Chevron sandwiches. Who goes and goes, I love Chevron sandwiches? But there is a way to create. I actually created this a logo and a brand for hot dogs. That's just that people would go crazy over. It's this hot dog. It's a little illustration of a hot dog, and he's a totally styling dude, right? And it just says doggy style, and he's like, right? And there's T-shirts made, or T-shirts and hats and stuff. And so the question is, you guys laughed, right? The reason you laugh because it elicits an emotional reaction from you. It has this weird, crazy double entendre story, right? But the image is absolutely innocent. It's a happy hot dog. But people will buy merchandise that's fun and different and interesting because they're gonna laugh about it. Now they're not gonna buy a Chevron T-shirt, a Chevron sandwich T-shirt, but they might buy a doggy style hat for their buddy. You know what I mean? And then the packaging, does it have that branding on it? So it could be as simple as a special hot dog with your special sauce. That simple. It could be you get a chicken, and a lot of places, like Harbor Foods will, do you want a special size seasoning in your chicken? We can do that for you. Depends on how much you order. They can make a custom recipe for you. You don't have to be a Maverick level to get something special. So that's another avenue to drive business to you. A branded private product that's only available in your location. Could be fudge, I don't know, but something different. If you're stuck selling the same thing as everybody else, without that creativity, you're not gonna, there's no reason to get people to come in. Make sense? So those are the different ideas I had to like drive business from the forecourt in. Expectations should be fairly low because people that are the third of the people who buy fuel only do that for a reason. You know, we think, oh, there's all this untapped market. We should be able to capitalize that. No, you're not, because that's the need state they're in. You can't create a different need state for a majority of those people. You can influence a tiny percentage of them, but don't think that's, oh man, a third of our customers aren't coming in. No, that's just life. They're too busy. They're not hungry. They're on a diet or whatever. On a diet, who does that? That's crazy. So any questions about or things that maybe things that you've tried that's like, man, that rocked, that worked really, really well, we could share with each other, or a question from my experience that for loyalty programs or whatever. Yeah. What I love about that is it gives you an opportunity to show off your food porn. Okay. GSTV, on TV, video at the pump to show your products. There's like what typically happens, you get a manufacturer, a vendor supplier to give you an image that you plug in there with a promo. Okay. If you have a food item, take great video footage of that food item and put it on that screen. Because GSTV, it's an inexpensive platform because you're getting it, other people are helping pay for the cost of that with other advertisers. So it's not an expensive thing. But when it's your content, be thoughtful about what you put on there. Just like the pros use like the pizza ads. You pull that slice of pizza out and that cheese is hanging, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, or the cookie that's broken apart and the chocolate's gooey. Why do we then put a picture from a cell phone? We take a picture of a sandwich or something like that, and we put on a promo and think, why isn't it selling? Because it doesn't look freaking awesome. That's when you spend the money to create a visual, like, I call it food porn. It's got to be so, like, mouth-watering. I can't get my eyes off of that cookie. I dream about the cookie. I fantasize about that cookie. I fantasize about that hot dog rolling, and I see flames and the special sauce going on there. Okay, that's where you spend your money. If you had $1 for marketing, you spend on that food item for like GSTV or any other kind of video display. Great question. Great question. So, any other questions? Yes. I'll tell you a funny story, not a Maverick story. So I hired this guy. We were doing a loyalty program that had an ACH card. So we had a normal loyalty program and then one that's connected to an ACH card, a payment card. You could only use that payment card at a Maverick. Okay, you would start an account and you would associate that card with your bank account. So it's like a debit card. Okay. Well, we wanted to promote that card, get it out like crazy. So I wanted to have a person, an actor, be on TV and be at stores and talk about the benefits of this card. I actually created a description of this person. I wanted him to be the love child of Bear Grylls and the most interesting man in the world. If they had a baby, we wanted to call him Nitro, because that was the name of the card, Nitro. So I probably interviewed and recorded 30 actors, guys, that had this kind of a thing. They came in and I was auditioning them. They all sucked. They were like, somebody's too full of themselves or they're just too expensive. Like, you work with a talent agency to get this. Maverick was in a lot of different locations. And we'd have to spend out the nose for this. So I thought, okay, I want to create a character I will hire full time. And so I'm talking to a friend of mine who says, dude, there's a night manager at a Holiday Oil who is next level. He's crazy. He made a contest for him and his own employees, because he was a night manager, to see who could sell the most pickled eggs. Okay, pickled eggs, I don't know about you guys, not a hot commodity. Not hot. Those, you know those big jars? He said, we went crazy. We would sell pickled eggs to everybody who came into the store. We would go through a typical, like in 1 month, they sold as many in a year, or in a month, as they typically do in a year. And the reason they did that is because the employees behind it. They got the employees excited about this audacious goal of doing something ridiculous. Now, that enthuses employees to do something above and beyond. Like, what can we do that's audacious and fun? Versus, you guys, we're trying to increase sales 15% at this location. Can we, what we need to do now, because we got 3 promotions, well, we got 15 promotions. So what I want you to do is make sure that everybody that comes up, you tell them about each of the 15 promotions. So we can really jack that up, right? Okay, have you ever been in a store where they're actually doing that? No, because the frontline employee is going, I can barely get the change out, and I want to get the next customer up because I want to get the business going. I'm not going to say, hey, did you know that we got these here's a little brochure of all the promotions we got going on here. And what they did is they chose one thing and got super excited about it. And I think the night manager, out of his own pocket, because it wasn't a promotion, it wasn't like a big promotion for the company. It was just him being crazy, right? But he basically says, I'm going to buy pizza. If we can sell this many, I'm buying pizza for everybody. Pizza's cheap. But it was something fun to do where these guys were like, how many did you sell yesterday? How many did you sell yesterday? Oh, we're going to go over it. So I think the idea of like something that I wasn't expecting to have happen, when you get people excited about something audacious, that's where traction really hits. It's not your typical business metrics. It's something that inspires, right? But I was super surprised to find out like how much, like in our loyalty program, I think I don't know if I can say it, but we because it might be divulging too much, but our Nitro card, people who signed up for the Nitro card because they had to put their bank account information in there, and they got like 10 cents off a gallon of gas. Like a typical, we get 17% more revenue from our normal loyalty customers. ACH was like next level because they felt they were already tied into it. Like, I've already invested in it. One of the things I wish we would have done would have been awesome. I still love the idea of like a drink membership. A drink membership card, okay? Okay, coffee or think about Costco. Or you pay to be able to buy stuff from them. Wouldn't that be great for us? Yeah, here's the deal. In order for you to buy stuff from us, you got to pay a membership. I would love that. But what about like drinks? You go, okay, $20 a month, all you can drink. All you can drink. $20 a month. Now, you may lose a little bit of money from those guys that come in every day, 2 or 3 times a day, maybe. But you're also driving that traffic, and they may not be coming alone all the time. So you have ancillary sales. There's going to be that lift, and you're already getting $20 a month from them to cover that hard cost anyway. So it becomes a cost-effective advertising platform where you say, hey, join the all-you-can-drink club, the bottomless pit club or whatever. And people pay to be a part of that club, and they're part of that. And by the way, if you paid $20 to get an all-you-can-drink, why would you go to any other convenience store to buy a drink? You would get a very, very high percentage of that type of product sale from that person. You drive that traffic. It's like, you're paying me, customer, you're paying me to give me your loyalty. We just need to create the platform for them to do that. A loyalty platform allows them to do that pretty easily because it already has all their information and stuff. So another thing is like just a nice card. You can probably do like a credit card type of a thing that you can sell for $20 and that it expires or whatever. But any other questions before I jump into a little bit more generative AI? Nope. Okay, cool. Who was I talking to about Gen AI? I'm looking for him right now. Yeah, you, come on up here. I want to show you guys a theme builder, okay? Like, how do I develop a theme for my brand? I created GPT that helps people develop ideas for themes. It's just inspiration. Come on right up here. Does this thing work? Yeah.
Check.
Okay.
I can't even see. Now I'm
You can't see? Oh, you can't
Yeah.
see? Oh, great.
This will just be blind leading the blind here.
Okay, so I'm going to jump to jump here. Okay, so in the paid version of ChatGPT, you can actually create your own bot, like a little program. So I'm going to show this to you. Thematic. Here it is. A thematic brand finder. Explore themes from 6 adjectives that describe your ideal brand, tailored to your industry. So here's what I'm going to pretend that you have these 6 adjectives. If you don't have them figured out, this little platform, this little button here, will ask you questions to help you discover what they are. And I can send you guys a link. By the way, if you want to chat with me afterwards or do a call with me later, I'll have my business cards up here you can grab. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say I have my 6 brand adjectives already. We're going to make them up. Okay. Okay. Share your 6 brand adjectives. Let's come up with some fun ones.
Knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable. Did you say fit?
I said knowledgeable. Fit.
Knowledgeable. Okay.
Yeah. Don't put the
Fit.
Professional.
Okay. Okay. Tell people what you do.
So, we're general construction. So
Okay, awesome.
We do C-store canopy buildings,
Okay.
services for underground storage tanks.
Okay.
So, we're in environmental construction is, I guess, what you would say.
Okay. Gotcha.
So.
Knowledgeable, professional, experienced. That's kind of like knowledgeable, but.
Yeah. Accurate.
Okay. So now, what are the 2 things he need? What does he need now? 2 else that no one else has. That's the hardest thing ever. Because right now he's like knowledgeable, professional, experienced. Dude, you got the corner on the market. No one else does that.
I know that.
It's like, I wish, all these other construction people are going, man, I wish we were knowledgeable and professional experience, man. They got us on those. So let's do something like creative or scientific. Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's try that. Scientific. Like engineering, kind of like really smart. Okay. Then if I were to do knowledgeable, we already have experience. I would say intellectual or intelligent, because I want to make sure that we really polarize that feeling, right? So I'd say intellectual, professional, experience, creative, scientific. Can you kind of see a theme kind of there? Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more. Eco-friendly. Okay. Now it's going to ask, what industry are you in? Thanks for sharing your brand adjectives. Tell me what industry you operate in. Petroleum. So let's make sure that if I said petroleum, it might think, oh, you're making jelly and gas, right? So
let's say, environmental construction. I
Okay.
guess would be UST.
We build gas stations.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Let's
Dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We build gas stations. Okay, great. So here are the 10 different themes it's going to come up with. Okay. Sustainable energy hubs. So that's a theme. So it's going to come up with visual elements, verbal elements, color scheme, and topography. These are the major building blocks for your branding and marketing materials, your website, your brochures, your stuff like that, okay? So this first one is sustainable energy hubs. Stand up here so you can kind of see what I'm doing, because otherwise you can't see jack. Solar panels integrated into station designs, futuristic, sleek architecture, green roofs with native plants. But that would be pretty, huh?
That's, we could do it.
LED lighting with soft glows, natural wood and metal hybrid metals, electric vehicle charging stations, recycled materials for signage, subtle wind turbine accents, Verbal elements, empowering greener journeys, where efficiency meets nature. Built for the future, fueled by innovation. Engineering with planet in mind. Okay, let's keep going down here. Eco-tech powerhouses, modern angular station designs, use of glass and steel for clean aesthetic, energy efficient lighting integrated with smart technology, digital fuel consumption trackers. See what I'm doing here? Yeah. Okay. Verbal elements, where technology meets the environment, innovation for a cleaner tomorrow, smart design, sustainable impact. I can't help but read that like as a radio guy.
Yeah. No, it's kind of, some of them are.
Color scheme, silver, slate, bright white with accents of electric blue and green.
I think that's how we got our
That's
logo.
cool. And then, so future fuel stations. Look, there's 10 of these.
Mhm.
So let's just, of the ones we just looked at,
Yeah.
which one did you feel like, oh, I kind of like that one a lot?
Well, let's see. We're up.
Okay, future fuel, it has the high-tech digital interfaces, organic shapes inspired by natural forms, solar panel covered canopies, glass closed, eco-friendly.
It's something we can do. It's cost prohibitive a lot
Okay.
of times for the clients.
Okay,
That's
so but you want to represent something you don't do, even though
yeah,
you could
I mean,
do it.
It's
Right.
it's
So let's take a look at this one here. Eco-tech powerhouses, modern angular station designs, use of glass and steel for clean aesthetic, energy efficient lighting integrated with smart technology, digital fuel consumption trackers, solar power, charging ports in every station.
go down. There's one
Okay.
that did ring a bell. Kind of,
Okay.
it was a structural steel one.
Oh, this is so silver slate, bright white with accents of electric blue and green. Let's go to the top one. Earth tones with vibrant green and blues. Let's see. Solar panels integrated station design, futuristic architecture, green roofs.
That can be there because we
Okay.
do custom buildings.
Okay, awesome.
So we work with anybody's architecture and we'll put up, whatever they want to come at,
Okay,
So we don't expect to just say, hey, this is our C-store, this is what you're gonna go with.
Right,
We
okay.
want them to tell us like, and we want the challenge. We want them to be like, hey, we want to do it this way because this is what we're going for. And then we jump in their vision and
gotcha.
help them, and
Gotcha.
that we, lay it out.
Okay, so for marketing materials, if he was going to produce marketing materials for his business and he liked sustainable energy, and by the way, you can do on this GPT, you can say, hey, can you redo sustainable energy hubs? Give me a few different variations for that. But what's nice about this, you give this to a designer, a graphic designer, and this person goes, I get the visual elements. I get it. Oh, I get the verbal elements. What colors would you, earth tones? Okay, oh man, you've given me a huge head start. But one of the things I like to do is I'll go, because I'm using ChatGPT and it's super smart, I'm going to say, let me just go to the bottom here. I'll just create a brand style sheet for the theme sustainable energy hubs. Okay, now this will it should visually create something that reflects that theme that it described in textual format.
Okay.
So visually, we can look at this and go, and very simply, you could look at this and go, oh, I love that. Or no, that's not quite right. Okay. So this is a representation of that theme. If you don't like it, but look, it's got even greenery on top.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't like it, you can go, okay, let's go back to the themes and change it a little bit.
Yeah.
But what this does, like if I were consulting for a company, it would take me about 2 days to get this far. Because there has to be like, I have a dialogue with them about what are your adjectives? What's important to you? How do you want to visualize this? And I'd mock it up and I'd come up with basically this right here. I'd come up with 3 or 4 different conceptual designs, like a mood board, to show them, does this feel right? Because it's like therapy, brand therapy. Yeah. If you're talking to a therapist, which we've all done, we've all have therapists. If you're saying it's not me, now you're lying, or you need a therapist. Okay. So therapy, basically what we do is we go, as if I'm a therapist. I'm a brand therapist.
Yeah.
We listen, and then we say, this is what you're saying. And we hold up a mirror and say, this is what you're describing to me. Then you look at that and go, that's not anything like, but that's what you're describing. And so you go, okay, then I need to change the way I'm describing my brand that I really want. because in my mind's eye, I see it differently. This gives you a reflection of what you're describing. Because if you look at this and go, oh my gosh, it looks too futuristic, or it looks too Hawaii, then I'm using words that are going to give me that response. Because ChatGPT is not trying to do its own thing. It's trying to do, I want to please you. Whatever you say, I'm going to say yes to. Okay? So let's pretend this is what he likes. All right? Now, and if you have a website, this is even better. Do you have a website?
We do.
Okay, let's take a look at your website.
www.packenviro.com.
Pack Enviro. Like that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got services right here. Okay. All these services, I'm just going to grab these, copy it. Go back into here. And I'm going to say, will you please create or write, let's see, I'm going to come up with like let's come up with a script.
Okay. That
you or a talking head could say about your company.
Okay.
All right. Inders, please write a 60-second radio script to introduce my company to convenience store owners.
That works.
Will that work?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll see what happens.
Um,
Adventure, right?
please use this information of the services of my services, okay? Of my services. And then I just put that in quotations, okay? I just pasted that in there. One of the things that we didn't do, and it's important, we haven't primed ChatGPT with the personality of your brand. We have, so the content that we're going to get from it is going to be very professional, but vanilla. Because we haven't said, I use language like, I use adjectives to describe me like this. So we have some of those adjectives, but not, so you'll see the reflection of some of the personality, the intelligence, the technical ability, you know, that we already told it. So let's see. Are you looking for a trusted partner to take your convenience store to the next level? Meet Pesco, Pacific Environmental Service Company. For over 25 years, we've been providing cost-effective solutions for gas station construction, tank removal, and ground-up facility. From underground and above ground tank removal and installation to full facility remodels, Pesco is your expert. We handle everything from plan reviews and permit acquisition to construction engineering and final project delivery. On time, every time. Need canopy fabrication or fascia retrofits? That's hard to say. We've manufactured and installed hundreds of independent oil companies, retailers, and more. With a 15,000 square foot metal shop, we produce high-quality canopies ready for installation on your job site. And if you're facing hydrocarbon contamination, Pesco has the expertise to handle site remediation safely, efficiently, and within regulation, minimizing your liability. Okay, so
Music intensifies.
No. So whether you're building from the ground up or simply upgrading, trust Pesco to deliver excellence every step of the way. Call us for a consultation. Let's build something great together. Okay, so based on the information we gave it,
That's an old consulting. I feel like that comes back in the mid-90s. Like, all right.
so imagine if we gave it some personality that feels like this is great. Yes, if there's, as long as there's enough information that it has access, that ChatGPT has had access to. So probably like Chuck Norris, but Chuck Norris has different characters. So I wouldn't say Chuck Norris. I would say the Lone Ranger, the Walker Texas Ranger, right? But I'm thinking, if you've ever watched Walker Texas Ranger, by the way, Carlos is a terrible actor. I wouldn't like, but who's like Matthew McConaughey? He has a poetry. Let's do this. This is great. Can you revise the tone and language to reflect the personality of Matthew ladies, how do you spell his name?
MCCONAHEY.
Okay, what is it?
MCCONAHEY.
No, is that it? G? Is that it?
Oh,
ChatGPT will figure it out, right? Can you raise a tone of language reflect the personality of Matthew McConaughey, especially the let's see what the poetry, the flow that he uses when he speaks. Okay, right? All right. Oh my gosh. All right. You're looking to take the convenience store to the next level. Let me tell you about Pesco.
Pretty
Can I do
good.
that?
That's really good.
But I don't know how to get it into like his voice, but we could easily take this script and put it into like Hey Jen, which is that video thing, and it has a bunch of different ones, different voice models to choose from. But my point is like the difference between this script that got us laughing and the previous script that was functional is completely different. And right now, when it comes to marketing, everybody wants to be entertained. Just entertain me. Look at your own behavior. If it's not making you laugh, if it's not making you smile or whatever, you're swiping. You got seconds, fractions of a second. Can you imagine not Matthew McConaughey per se,
Tough shoes to
but
fill
someone like
to get
this.
to a site though, and I'm not Matthew McConaughey.
Right. You guys just get a little bit of workout and you'll be fine.
Little
Spend
bit.
some time on the beach. But imagine if your radio spot started with all right. What I want to know the rest of the story. You know, it's like, really? I want to get me into this versus what we typically do. This is so typical and so standard and very straightforward. The difference between good branding and marketing, just traditional marketing, is just going a little deeper, making a very clear decision. Like, I've got to put personality into my message. One of my favorite ways to explain branding is branding isn't the message. Branding is the plate that the message is served on. This is the message. Are you looking for a trusted partner? That's the message. We just now need to present it in a way that has personality so that when someone sees that message or hears that message, they go, I know exactly who this is. I know where this is coming from. Because if you hired a professional speaker to read this, and if you didn't have the word Pesco or the logo Pesco on there, they'd have you could be talking about anybody else in your industry, right?
Yep.
But if you had this personality in everything that you did, they'd listen to the first 6 words and go, that's Pesco. I love Pesco. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. I want to do one more little demonstration to show you some imagery, so you can see how, like, what could I do with some visual imagery. So we just did this image right up here, this branding one. Okay.
Mhm.
So if I click on this image that ChatGPT creates, there's a little eye up here. That eye is the prompt that it actually used to create the image, not the words I put in. It took the words I put in and says, okay, Ernie, I got to fill this out a little bit more. I got to flesh this out a little bit more. So I can just, that eye pops up, and here's the prompt down here. If I can get down there. Whoops. I'm going to take this prompt, copy that prompt, and I'm going to go into, this is called Midjourney. Okay, it's a different platform. It's a text to image based platform. And I'm going to jump in here. This is what I just did during the break. I'm like going, okay, what would a woman who's filling up her car with gas in a kind of a tribal store exterior? So I saw some of that timbers and woods and stuff like that. This is kind of what it could look like. Here's a few other ones. But I'm going to just do this. And I'm just going to paste that prompt in there.
Okay.
Now this is not what I would typically do, but I just want you to see the difference between what Midjourney creates versus what ChatGPT creates. The license, by the way, to have access to this is like $11 a month. Because I spend about $250 a month on stock photography license. And that's how much I spend for my license, but I probably use 3 or 4 of those to like 100 from Midjourney. I'm like, why do I even use stock photography anymore? Seriously, why do I use stock photography anymore? Because every once in a while, it's like, oh, there's something that's just perfect and it's super high resolution. So it's like, and I didn't even read the prompt, but I'll bet you it says something like architectural rendering, because this is exactly what it looks like, architectural rendering. All right, with color palettes and stuff like that. So I think, you go back here. You showed me a brochure, right? That had like legacy photos.
Yeah.
Right? You said that if there were people in there, they'd be wearing mullets.
Yeah, I said that, yeah, my brochures are back from the mullet days. So, you know, we're looking to up.
But because you're construction, this is one of those things where I'd go, I could create a prompt that says, create a beautiful photograph of a modern convenience store. Would it be okay to put that in a brochure that these guys?
Well, I think now the mullet's coming back, so
Yeah.
our brochures are.
Okay, is
back
it fine?
being
Okay.
refreshed, so.
So I would say no. I don't feel comfortable representing something that looks like a photograph of something that would suggest that you created it. Now, if it were something like this, where it's a architectural rendering, and it's something that you say, oh yeah, because you can prompt a design that looks like the kind of stuff that you would do. You don't have to have done it, because you could either pay a architectural renderer, which is the same thing as like just asking ChatGPT or Midjourney to create one for you as well. You gave it parameters that it created an image for you. So it doesn't matter. But suggesting that you actually did this and you didn't, that's misleading.
Yeah.
So don't use Midjourney as a liar to deceive people. But you might go, here's something you might want to do. I used to. I'll go, I want a picture, I want a better headshot of me. Okay? Well, I have a picture of me in here already as a reference. So let's do this. Imagine, whoops, here's my prompt. A photo of a clean, that's me, by the way. Not that you're dirty, a clean shaven, bald man with glass, let's see, bald man, posing on a bodybuilder stage. He has huge muscles. Let's see what that does. This is going to be me, by the way. Just so you know, I'm going to kind of explain while this is baking, how Midjourney works. Midjourney, this image generator, it analyzes a bunch of different photos, illustrations, drawings, or whatever. It interprets it and writes a description, a mental description of what it is. I am seeing this kind of image. It describes it in as much detail as it possibly can. Woman, sunset, whatever, okay? And then it takes that image and it dissolves it into pixels, like reverse engineers it, okay? It already looks like me. Let's take this guy. I kind of like, this looks a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
This looks about like me anyway. So I'm going to do up res number 1. Okay. So you can see he's a little fatter than I am. I mean, he's a little, but I can deal with it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my face on him. That's like, this is what my wife has in her phone.
Yeah,
You
for sure.
But like, why I bring this up because you could do like a headshot. And you could be like, okay, you love to be outdoors. And instead of like, okay, I've got to get a photographer or my wife, and we got to go outside and take a picture of our faces. We'll put it there. Maybe there's a location that you've been to that you didn't take a picture. The Snoqualmie Falls, and you're like, oh, it's a beautiful background, but I wasn't there. I mean, I didn't take a picture. I was there. Well, let's put you there, right? And then use that headshot is in your brochure. Because one of the things that drives me nuts, honestly, is look at your all's headshots in social media and ask yourselves, what personality is coming through on that headshot? Do people know what I care about? Do people know what I'm interested in? Do people get a feeling from me? Like I love it when people's hobbies or passions are represented in their headshots. Like if you love fly fishing, or you like golf and you're wearing like a golf hat or like a fisherman's vest, when someone's like scrolling across you, they go, oh my gosh, this guy loves fly fishing. What happens is the people who love fly fishing, oh man, we are like a tractor beam. I don't care what it costs. I want to do business with you because you love what I love. That's that emotional connection. If there's not an emotional connection, you're like, oh, he looks like a professional businessman. Functional. But we're afraid often to like let our personality show because it doesn't look professional.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's just too familiar. Well, we need more personal connection. We need more that I want to know more about you. I want to do business with people I like and that are different. I don't need a clone. So generative AI can help us start thinking about the personality of our brands. If you're currently using ChatGPT and aren't getting stellar results, it's probably because you haven't told it or made the decision about what you want your company to feel like. Those adjectives. Do this exercise with your with somebody that's not in your business, and they will be the ones that say, dude, you're using the exact same adjectives everybody else uses in your business.
Yeah.
Don't do it with your office because everybody's going, yeah, you're right. Professional.
No, I smart. I've been in those meetings.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very
No
much.
problem. Appreciate it.
And thank you guys. Thank you. Any last minute questions? That night manager, I didn't finish that story. The night manager, I interviewed him. And in my interview, he told me about this egg thing that he did. And then he said, I kind of got in trouble because I put a BMX track in our store and did a race because they had like a Rockstar bicycle promotional thing, a mountain bike thing. They brought in professional mountain bikers to race around inside the store. They cleared out some cooler, they opened up some gondolas, and they used a little flip phone camera to record it all. He got in trouble for it, and I said, you're the kind of guy that Maverick needs. By the way, it was a hard sell to the HR director. He's a loose cannon. I go, that's why I want him. Well, thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Ernie. I appreciate it.